yay, Sam Raimi is back with another horror movie. It took too damn long, if you ask me. But he's finally back with another one, and Jesus Christ, was this one for the ages. So, we've got Send Help. And this one, I was actually looking forward to it for a while, because when it was announced that Raimi was going to do another horror movie, I immediately was jumping for joy and sad, because the last time he did a horror movie, I believe, was Drag Me to Hell. And that movie is awesome, by the way, if you've never seen that. So I was thinking, all right, what is this one going to entail? And when they said that it was going to be like a combination of something like Psycho meets Castaway, I was like, all right, that sounds intriguing. Let's see what you're going to do with this. And then I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, that looks really cool. And then I saw the movie and whoo, oh boy. I think so far I found my favorite movie of the year. So far. We'll see if something else tops that. But anyway, Send Help. So this movie, it's about Rachel McAdams, who plays the she works at, this big company, and the big head honcho, the CEO, I believe, who is played by Bruce Campbell. Even though he's not in it, you do see a picture of him, and I was like, hey, look at that. She is about to be like the next in line to take it, but unfortunately, it is his son, who is played by Dylan O'Brien, and he is just douchebag times 100. He doesn't have any experience with what the company does. He gives the what she was going to get to his bro from college, who knows nothing about what the job entails, takes credit for her stuff, and it's just full of shit. So he's like, I don't see any potential in you. I don't understand why you're here. And she says, well, we have a big business meeting overseas. Let me come with and show you what the hell I actually do and what I bring to this company and why she's an asset. So the plane crashes, and it's just the two of them stuck on an island, and she realizes, like, oh, wait, because I love the show Survivor and I've learned and studied all this, like, survival techniques, she has the upper hand over him. So then, the predator then becomes the prey. And then it becomes kind of a back and forth movie on the two of them trying to survive, but then also the two of them snipping at each other, and just absolute batshit craziness ensues. And that's pretty much what this is. And goddamn, was this a ride. So right off the bat, the movie plays just a really nice balancing act between the two of them, because you kind of feel for both of them, because when they're on the island, they start opening up about each other and the past and stuff like that, and you're kind of on this, like I said, you're on this balancing act where you're kind of like going, McAdams, you're like, all right, all this shit you had to deal with up to this point, yeah, that's complete bullshit. But when they're on this island, you're a bit going over the line and psycho. But with O'Brien, it's kind of the other way around, where it's like, yeah, you're just an absolute prick times 1,000. And then the second you get to this island, yeah, he still has those prick ticks, I guess. And then he starts opening up more and saying, like, oh, I don't know what the hell I was doing. And you're kind of on this edge, because when he's saying, like, I'm sorry, you don't really feel like it's genuine, or he's just bluffing to try to get something he desperately needs. Not wants, but needs to survive. So it plays this nice balancing act where you don't know who is going to win. You don't know who's going to be on top at the end. And so I thought that was really cool. And I thought, the chemistry and the camaraderie between McAdams and O'Brien, I thought it was amazing. And I think with the combination of the two of them, plus the script, and also with Sam Raimi's direction, they nail it. I think it was just really cool. I thought it was really well done. And this movie, if you saw the trailer for this movie and you're thinking, this doesn't really look like a Sam Raimi movie, hold that thought. Just hold that thought, because there is a lot of stuff in this that is like, it's very him. Like, there are parts where it is funny, it's bloody, it's gross. It's gross. It's kind of like Drag Me to Hell, where it's like, it's a dark comedy. And, I don't really want to spoil that movie too, but like here, but, you have someone like being killed, and it's kind of funny the way they set it up. And it's just really funny. And I'm like, all right, that's him right there. And one last thing in the good is there was a moment in this movie, and if you've seen the movie, I'm just going to throw this out here, but as a man, there was one scene in the movie that I legitimately started squirming at. And if you've seen the movie, you probably know what scene I'm talking about. I'm not going to spoil it, because Jesus Christ, it had me on edge. Because there were so many times, like, the scene was happening, and it started building up, and I swear I was sitting next to a bunch of guys, and actually the theater was pretty packed, so that helped. And a lot of the guys there were going, like, no, they're not going to do this. And my mouth was like in shock, because I was like, no, they're not doing this. They're not going to fucking do this. And it had me on edge. And a movie has never done that in a long time. So if a movie can actually do that to me, have me squirm like that, man, you fucking succeeded. You succeeded. So I've just thrown it out there. Like, as a guy watching that scene, it was like, oh my God, like, dude, you're not going to do this. It was very much like how I feel about when I watch Casino Royale and the torture scene in that movie, where it's like, ow, that really hurt. That hurt me just watching it. This was kind of like, you're tightened up. You're really squirming. And like I said, I've never felt that way in a movie in a long time. So you succeeded on that level. Now, the one very minor complaint I have is that at times it is a little bit slow, but it picks up because a lot of it's so intense that they need those little spots to just let you breathe, but then it jumps back into insanity. So I understand like why it is a little slow at times, but it was very minor. It was a very minor complaint. And overall, I mean, I've been waiting for Raimi to get back into horror, and damn, was this a great return. Especially with, the past few films that he had done, with something like, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, where I, there were parts of that movie I did like. There was a lot in there where I was like, okay, that felt like a rewrite. Or something like Oz, Great and Powerful, where I liked that when I saw it, and I just haven't seen it in years. But I was going like, when can we get back to something like, Drag Me to Hell? And this is, this is a great return. It almost, to me, it kind of feels like, like Misery, but also something like, something like Psycho, but it also reminds me of something like Misery. And it was great. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, the only criticism I have is that it did feel slow, really slow, but, it picks up pretty quickly, and it does do a little back and forth on that. But other than that, this was very well done, and I'm glad to see him come back and do another horror movie after just so long. I mean, how Drag Me to Hell was 2009, something like that. That is too damn long, man. Come on. So, Honestly, I give this maybe a high grade and almost an amazing, because the fact that, it was on edge, it was intense all the way through. Performances were great, and me being a big fan of Sam Raimi, it's all here. And so I really, really, really and thoroughly enjoyed this. And this would be a great movie to watch with, like friends, and just see their reactions to this. And I told a lot of my friends, like, you gotta watch it with an audience. You got to watch it with an audience. Because damn.